basketball, and here to celebrate it is a player, a coach, now part of
That's
the
right.
department, Gary Williams. What first attracted you to become a Terp as a student?
Well, I was in New Jersey, and I wasn't going to get into Princeton, so I headed south, 95, and Maryland was nice enough to give me a scholarship and allowed me a chance to play, and I feel very fortunate to have played in Cole Fieldhouse in the old Atlantic Coast Conference, and had a lot of great memories as a player. Not many wins, but a lot of great memories.
Being here tonight, you were obviously such a huge part of 100 years of Maryland basketball. Just what is it like to see a lot of these familiar faces, whether it's people you coached, people you just know from being Maryland greats?
Yeah, I think this is, 100 years, it's hard to believe until you step back and look at it. And when you're coaching, you never get a chance to do anything like that. So it's been good for me, to think about all the guys that played for me, but also to think about, the modern era of Maryland basketball was probably when I was finishing up and Lefty came in, and everything that's happened. And we have I think about tomorrow, the game on national television, millions of people watching the University of Maryland, seeing the Maryland brand, and it's just a tremendous thing, and hopefully we've been a very positive thing for the university.
You say 100 years. It's been 17 years since the national title. First of all, does it seem like that? And just, when the clock strikes March, when the calendar strikes March, what enters your mind?
Well, it goes quick. I think that, 2001 and 2002 really, because I thought we were younger, but we had as good a talent, with Terrence Morris, Danny Miller, people like that in 2001. So it was just the experience that we gained by getting there in 2001 that allowed us not to let anything distract us, in trying to win it the following year.
How hard was that to not let anything distract you?
It's hard. That's a big part of it. If people look at it and they see 6 games, that's all you got to win, and it looks easy, but it's one of the harder things to do in sports, because once you get past, say, the first game in the NCAA tournament, if you're a high seed, then you're going to be playing teams that are probably capable of beating you on a given night, even though you might be a little better than they are.
Joe Smith was here before, and he said that this year's team sort of reminds him of his freshman year, where they came in with a little bit of hype, but not a whole lot, and then surprised everybody.
Yeah, I think it's similar.
We let the old guys go.
Who's that? We had two freshmen and 3 sophomores that started. And started the whole year basically for us. And of course, your freshmen were Joe Smith and Keith Booth, which were just great all-time players in Maryland. But the 3 guys before that were part of that, Johnny Rhodes, X-Ray Hip, and Dwayne Simpkins, they came to Maryland when we weren't any good. We were horrible. We had sanctions. We couldn't play with the ACC teams, and they had the faith that we could get good. That was very important, and that got us to the Sweet 16. We went from 3 wins the year before in the ACC to the Sweet 16 their year.
Are there still any wow moments when you come to Xfinity Center and see your name on the court?
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you ever think will happen in coaching. I was a JV high school coach the year I left Maryland. I never thought I'd be a college coach, let alone have my name on the court. So a lot of good people along the way helped, a lot of great players, and it just wound up that way.
Not bad for a former college soccer coach, is that right?
Yes, I was. 6 years, Lafayette College, head men's soccer coach.
Gary, speaking of some of the coaching, how much have you seen from Juan Dixon just being a coach now, and how much did he kind of run things by you when you did become a head coach at university?
Well, we talked some, and I've seen him play a couple times at Coppin. I think Juan has done the hardest thing. He's gotten his teams to play with passion. They play. And now as he recruits and gets his own players in the program, this is his 2nd year, I think he's got a chance to make Coppin an outstanding program in the MEAC. So hopefully things will go well for Juan. And the big thing with Juan, which got overlooked, I think, sometimes because he was such a spectacular player, he really knew the game, as a player. In other words, you could talk to him about things in practice that you wouldn't talk to a lot of guys about.
What
what's the biggest difference coaching a young team and going through, you went through the ACC, Mark's going through the Big Ten, and say when you had Juan as a senior and Lonnie as a senior in that team?
I think the hardest thing with a young team is to keep them focused. In other words, you win a great game, practice. You know the practice the next day is going to be hard because they're all cocky and because they won. If you have a tough loss, you got to find a way to get them back up and explain to them that those things are going to happen during a 30-game basketball season. And so with a veteran team, a lot of times you don't worry about those two situations as much because you understand that they've been through it before and they know how to handle it kind of on their own. I think the biggest thing with the veteran team sometimes is complacency. You think that we'll be all right, we'll win enough games to get to the NCAA tournament, you know, that type of thing, because they've done it before. And so you have to guard against that with a veteran team. Thank you.